In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 25th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Sacramento Kings versus New York Knicks. Sacramento aims to put an end to its 2-game losing streak on the road as the team heads to Madison Square Garden to challenge the New York Knicks on Saturday night. The Kings recently suffered a 132-123 defeat against the Denver Nuggets, where they entered the game as 7.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, the Knicks are riding high after narrowly defeating the Brooklyn Nets with a 99-95 victory, covering the spread as 11.5-point favorites. Historically, New York has had the upper hand, winning 7 of its last 10 matchups against Sacramento. The Kings are closely monitoring the status of their star guard, De'Aaron Fox, who is listed as questionable for the game due to a sprained right thumb. On the Knicks side, Josh Hart's availability is also uncertain, as he is listed as questionable. Despite the potential absence of Fox, Sacramento has displayed impressive form over the past 2 weeks, securing victories in 8 of their last 10 games. Remarkably, the Kings have managed a perfect 3-0 record this season in games where Fox did not play. In contrast, the Knicks have shown inconsistency in recent weeks, particularly at home, where they have dropped 4 of their last 7 games. Hart's potential absence could significantly impact New York, as he is a critical contributor on both ends of the court. As always, it's wise to check the latest injury updates before placing bets. Regardless of Fox's status, the Kings remain a formidable opponent and are far from being an easy challenge. The Kings were on an incredible run before encountering a red-hot Denver Nuggets team in their most recent outing. It's intriguing to see Sacramento considered underdogs against a Knicks squad that barely edged out the slumping Brooklyn Nets in their last game. While the Knicks deserve their status as favorites on their home court, this matchup appears to be a tightly contested battle. With that in mind, I'm leaning toward the Kings and the points they're being given, as they seem poised to keep this one close. So the Sacramento Kings to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. In their previous 3 games, the Knicks have played under the total. New York averages 117 points per game and operates at a deliberate pace, ranking second slowest in the league with an average of 100.3 possessions per game. They will face a Kings team that allows an average of 115.5 points per game on the road. Conversely, Sacramento averages 117 points per game and plays at the 6th fastest pace in the NBA, managing 104 possessions per game. However, they will be up against a Knicks team that has been solid defensively, giving up only 109 points per game at home. Given these dynamics, it's unlikely that these teams will combine to score enough to exceed the projected total. Furthermore, 3 of the last 4 meetings between the Kings and the Knicks have also gone under the total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Philadelphia 76ers versus Chicago Bulls, tipping off on January 25th, 2025 at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. This game features 2 teams striving to overcome their recent struggles and get back on track. The Philadelphia 76ers, currently holding a 16-27 record with a challenging 9-14 performance on the road, are set to take on the Chicago Bulls, who stand at 19-26 and have managed an 8-15 record at home. This contest promises to be a fiercely competitive matchup as both squads seek much-needed victories. Philadelphia comes into this game with momentum after a thrilling 132-129 victory over Cleveland, while Chicago is looking to rebound after a tough 131-106 loss to Golden State. Fans can anticipate standout efforts from key players as these teams aim to regain their footing and build momentum. The 76ers remain undermanned, with Kyle Lowry, Joel Embiid, and Andre Drummond all sidelined for this matchup. Meanwhile, the Bulls are monitoring the status of Ayo Dosunmu and Chris Duarte, both of whom are listed as questionable. Last night, the 76ers delivered one of the most stunning upsets of the season, defeating the 36-8 Cavaliers at home in a closely contested 132-129 battle. Paul George turned back the clock with a stellar 30-point performance, helping Philadelphia snap a 7-game losing streak. Tyrese Maxey also shone with 29 points, while Gurskan Yabusele and Kelly Albert Jr. made their presence felt on the boards, combining for an impressive 26 rebounds. Now, the Sixers head to Chicago to face a fast-paced Bulls team, a matchup they've historically dominated with a 15-4 straight-up record and 14 covers in their last 19 meetings. However, Joel Embiid remains out, along with Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, Andre Drummond, and KJ Martin, leaving the team significantly short-handed. The Bulls are coming off a disappointing 3-game West Coast road trip where they went 1-2 straight up. Their last outing was particularly forgettable as they allowed the Warriors, a middling team, to score 131 points in a lopsided 25-point defeat. Despite their struggles, Chicago clings to the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, with the 76ers trailing by just 2 games, making this matchup critical for both teams. Chicago will aim to capitalize on Philadelphia's fatigue, as the Sixers are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. While the Bulls are also dealing with injuries, they still have Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, both of whom are healthy and delivering strong performances. Kobe White may also return, depending on the status of his ankle, which would further bolster their lineup. Philadelphia had a strong showing last night, shooting 50% from the field, sinking 21 three-pointers, and getting 30 points from Paul George. However, replicating such a performance on the road at the United Center seems unlikely. In games with no rest this season, the 76ers are winless at 0-6. While Chicago's performance has been inconsistent, their home court advantage provides a significant boost in this matchup. The Philadelphia 76ers have struggled throughout the season, plagued by inconsistencies and injuries. Joel Embiid's sporadic availability, Paul George's lowest scoring average in a decade, and Tyrese Maxey's inability to carry the team alone have contributed to their underwhelming performance. Conversely, the Bulls have experienced their own challenges, dropping 7 of their last 8 games. However, their recent victory over the Eastern Conference leading Cavaliers offers a glimmer of hope. Philadelphia is unlikely to repeat last night's stellar performance on the road, especially with Embiid sidelined. Meanwhile, the Bulls will look to their top players, Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, to take control of this game. LaVine remains a potent scorer on the wing, and Vucevic, an underrated big man, continues to deliver with averages exceeding 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. With Embiid out, Vucevic has a prime opportunity to dominate inside and surpass his usual averages. The Chicago Bulls have proven themselves to be a strong betting option this season, boasting a respectable 16-13-1 record against the spread and an impressive 14-11 mark following a loss. Their recent performance further underscores their resilience, as they've achieved a 6-3 record against the spread in their last 9 games. In stark contrast, the Philadelphia 76ers have consistently fallen short of expectations with a disappointing 14-27-2 record against the spread and an abysmal 3-10-1 record as the away underdog. Betting against Philadelphia has been a profitable strategy throughout the season, and this trend is likely to continue as they face the Bulls. This game may not be the most visually appealing contest, but the Bulls are well positioned to secure the win. Zach LaVine had a standout performance with 30 points in their last meeting against Philadelphia, and he is poised to replicate or exceed that against a fatigued Sixers team. So the Chicago Bulls to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. StatMuse ranks the Bulls second in the NBA in pace with a rating of 103.41. But despite their fast tempo, they have consistently kept scores low. Of their 45 games, 24 have ended under the posted total, including 13 of 23 home games. Chicago's recent form has seen them hit the game total under in 15 of their last 21 outings, demonstrating their ability to limit opposing offenses effectively. On the other side, the 76ers have also trended toward lower scoring games, finishing under the total in 10 of their 14 contests. As the away underdog and in 27 of their 43 games overall, with injury concerns likely hampering Philadelphia's scoring capabilities and the Bulls' strong defensive performance at home, this matchup is shaping up to be a low-scoring affair. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Memphis Grizzlies. The Utah Jazz and Memphis Grizzlies will face off on Saturday in NBA action at the FedEx Forum. The Jazz remain undermanned, with Johnny Juzang, John Collins, and Jordan Clarkson all sidelined due to injuries, while the Grizzlies have again ruled out Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, and Santi Aldama. Despite the absence of these key players and the fact that Memphis is playing on the second night of a back-to-back, it's hard to overlook the Grizzlies for this matchup. Memphis has been an impressive team, especially with the ball in hand, hand and is expected to put up substantial numbers against a Jazz squad that's clearly in a rebuilding phase. Prior to their matchup against the Pelicans on Friday, the Grizzlies had covered the spread in 5 of their 6 games, while the Jazz have struggled, posting a 12-16 record against the spread in conference games this season. Memphis ranks among the NBA's top teams when it comes to three-point shooting, with a solid three-point success rate of 37.2%. This will be particularly advantageous when facing the Jazz, who allow more three-point attempts per game than any other team in the league, with opponents averaging 40.2 attempts. On average, opposing teams have been hitting 14.3 three-pointers per game against Utah this season. Additionally, Memphis is a dominant force on the boards, grabbing an average of 57.2 rebounds per game, compared to Utah's 53.9. The Grizzlies also score 55 points in the paint on average, significantly outpacing the Jazz's 44.5. Utah also ranks at the bottom of the league in turnovers, committing 16.6 giveaways per game, while Memphis defense is one of the best at forcing turnovers, ranking 5th in the league with 16 forced turnovers per game. Utah has been strong against the spread in recent road games, posting a 9-2-0 record in their last 11 away matchups. The Jazz have shown they can compete on the road, and with Memphis playing a second consecutive game, Utah could have an advantage in terms of fresher legs. Much like their first meeting, expect the Jazz to keep things close. However, the Grizzlies' talent and depth should still give them the upper hand in this matchup. Memphis has struggled with defensive rebounding this season, whereas Utah is one of the league's top teams in offensive rebounding. This could allow the Jazz to earn some additional scoring opportunities on Saturday. Moreover, the Grizzlies tend to allow the second most free throw attempts per game, which could work in Utah's favor. On the defensive end, the Jazz should focus on defending the three-point line and limiting Memphis' second chance opportunities. While the Jazz have had some success covering large spreads this season, it's difficult to fully trust them against a strong team like Memphis. Despite playing the second game of a back-to-back, the Grizzlies have been consistently winning and covering the spread all year, regardless of their roster changes. With Yamort potentially getting rest after missing the previous game, Memphis remains a formidable opponent. The Grizzlies have a strong home record, standing at 18-5 straight up at home and 30-15 against the spread on the season. Their impressive 66.6% cover rate makes them the second best team in the league in terms of covering the spread. Meanwhile, the Jazz have a lengthy injury report, with several key players sidelined. This game features a meeting between a struggling Jazz team and a red-hot Grizzlies squad. With the line expected to be in double digits in favor of Memphis, it becomes a bit tricky due to the fact that the Grizzlies are playing their second game in as many nights. Despite the Jazz having an advantage in terms of rest, their injuries and lack of depth make it hard for them to compete against the Grizzlies at the FedEx Forum. So the Memphis Grizzlies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When it comes to scoring big totals, both Utah and Memphis are incredibly reliable. Before their matchup with the Pelicans on Friday, the Grizzlies had gone over the total in 5 of their last 6 games, and they hold a 28-16 record on the over this season. Utah has also hit the over in all of its last 6 games, bringing their overall mark to 24-17-1. Memphis is the fastest team in the league, averaging 107.1 possessions per game. They also lead the NBA in free throw attempts and makes, and they convert 48.4% of their field goal attempts, ranking 5th in the league. The first matchup between these teams resulted in a total of 250 points, and that wasn't a fluke. Memphis' fast-paced style of play has led to them ranking 21st in the league for points allowed per game. Utah, on the other hand, is 13th in pace but ranks 27th in points allowed and 29th in defensive rating. With both teams playing fast and scoring efficiently, Saturday's game is expected to be another high-scoring affair. Utah has allowed more than 120 points in each of its last 3 road games, and they simply don't have the defensive tools to slow down Memphis. However, with fresher legs and their strong offensive rebounding, the Jazz are likely to score over 114 points for the 4th consecutive game. Expect to see plenty of free throw attempts from both sides as well. Given the offensive firepower on display, the over should hit once again in this matchup. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.